Hey, welcome back, viewer. I'm Sean. This is Sean Turns Up the Volume. I wanted to comment on a video I just saw recently concerning a guy who identifies as trans who was at a public library, and I guess was going into a woman's restroom and something like that, and there was a police officer there at the library who intervened and was telling him that like it's a police matter. And then the news, the local news, ended up having this guy on.
An internal investigation after a transgender woman says an officer confronted her for using the women's bathroom. She says this happened 2 weeks ago at a county public library in Tucker. And tonight, DeKalb County's top official is calling this a, quote, teachable moment. Earlier, I spoke with the woman at the center of the controversy.
And talking about how then the library filed a complaint on behalf of this guy who identifies as trans against the police officer. And so the police department is like looking into it. So they're trying to get the police officer in trouble, and maybe he shouldn't have gotten involved from a law enforcement perspective. I mean, I don't have any idea what that could be without a complaint from people using the restrooms or from the library staff themselves. That sounds like it wouldn't be like a law enforcement kind of matter. It sounds like it would be something that would be, if anything, just dealt with within the library. I don't know. But the news people talking are referring to this, obviously a guy, and calling him a she, calling him by this made-up woman's name that he probably got his name legally changed to. And just every time they talk about him as a she and a her and are clearly sympathetic to his position.
I use the restroom, the women's restroom, like I have been for months, if not years, never had any issues.
Sarah Swinson is a regular at the Tucker Reed Kofer Library. She says after she used the ladies' room on October 20th, a DeKalb police officer on hand for early voting confronted her.
He says, "Excuse me, sir," so misgendering me right away. "You're not a woman, that's obvious."
Swinson says she tried explaining to the officer that she's a transgender woman, but he got angry.
This is
just, it's so cringy, it's so insane, it's obtuse. It makes me feel like I'm living in like 1984, like that they're holding water for this obvious lie, this BS nonsense notion of that a man can just claim to be a woman, can just claim to be a woman, tell everybody to use female pronouns, change his name to a woman's name, and that's what womanhood is reduced to. That's what the biological sex of female, the sex that like carries children, that's what the female sex does, and has its own experience through history and culturally. Like, that's part of like why there's a feminist movement, why there's the claim of the patriarchy, the endless fight of the patriarchy, because how oppressed women are, and no matter how much society changes or how much advantage women can get in society, the patriarchy must always be present and attacked, as it really is just another name for the bourgeoisie. It's really just it's just that again, man. Everything goes back to Marx. Anyway, this notion that female identity can be reduced to growing hair out, telling people by threat what they have to call you, and to call into question their integrity, to accuse them of bigotry, to accuse them of being closed-minded, to accuse them of hate speech. The guy in that news video, sure, said that the police officer misgendered him. No, he accurately gendered him, because it is built into us. I would say by God, by the Creator. Evolutionists would say by the hundreds of thousands of years and millions of years, whatever, of evolution, that we can recognize patterns. We can recognize almost instantaneously things that reveal if somebody is of male sex or female sex. Even if we don't have the words to articulate it, you can snap your fingers and pretty much know. And so I know that, like, at least I've read that the trans community like holds up the idea of, like, there's like more credit to you if you're more passing. Like, if you can deceive people better so that they actually call you by the false pronoun, by the opposite pronoun of your actual sex, like, that's considered, like, superior. I don't know, maybe that's like living the dream. Living the dream of the lie. But I just wanted to comment that it's very dystopian. It is an attack on common sense. It's an attack on a basic truth, a fundamental truth of the differences of the sexes. And to see the media just bow down and support it. It's like, most journalism departments are liberal. Most journalism students are liberal. Like, the communists took academia a long time ago. They were taking the journalism departments a long time ago under terms like democratic and progressive and things like that. Just the things that they said they did. I'm in one of my other videos, I put up a quote of Che Guevara. I think it was Che. It might have been Fidel Castro, but I think it was Che, saying that they've taken all of the institutions. That quote, I think, would have been back in maybe the 50s. Like, they were already signaling that they were doing this. They were already signaling that they'd accomplished a lot of it like 70 years ago. So, and now we live in a society where half of the people don't know what a man or a woman is, think it's offensive to say that it's anything other than a feeling. You know what? I don't think... I'm pretty sure I can go days without even thinking about that I'm a man. Like, it's just not, being a man isn't a feeling. Like having, like, gender is made up. Gender is sex. Your gender is your sex. Describing it in any other terms is a made up ideology to tear down fundamental truths. That is what the Marxist Frankfurt School is all about. And their critical theory crap is just tear down things that we know by common sense, we can verify through scientific empiricism. Like, I don't need the scientific method to know what a man or a woman is. People have known what a man or a woman is for thousands of years by more simple, blatant, overt empiricism. You know, eyeballs. You look at a person, you hear the sound of their voice, you see the structure of them, and of course the most basic thing that societies typically do is how you dress as well, gendered fashion. And you just know. It's that easy, and then you can verify it with more sophisticated means. But then the means of the left, of the progressive Marxist left, is to use seemingly sophisticated means to try to uproot basic truth, basic things that we know, to try to rob us of knowledge, to try to blind our eyes and deafen our ears. I saw a video of Ocasio. I like to call her Crazy-ocassia, and she was at this rally. I think it might have been for Mamdani, and she's like, they try to tell us we're the crazy ones. We're not the crazy ones, like something like that.
Act. But we must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City. We are not the outlandish ones, New York City. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
Just trying to say that like they're the sensible ones, the ones who want the fail system of socialism. No matter what, I guess they view all of the crimes of socialism, communism, and all of its deceptive tactics as less bad and more repeatable than all of the flaws, but all of the benefits of capitalism and Western European society heritage. They prefer the ideas of 1800s racist, anti-Semitic, white socialist guys like Karl Marx, the Fabian Society, the 20th century guys of the, again, white German socialists of the Frankfurt School. This is what the world all over goes running to. As they call the right the racists. There's such an irony to this. As they call the right the racists and the fascists, they have ideologies that are like right next to those of Hitler from the same country. Like the Soviet Union. Why do we get the Soviet Union? Lenin gets his ideas from German Marx. It's German ideology that takes over and ruins Russia. And then all the countries that get taken over by the Soviet Union. And then it's the same stuff that's still plaguing the Latin world, that's still trying to destroy America, that's taken over and trying to destroy Europe, that took over in China and Vietnam and North Korea and these other communist countries, and has its hand in African nations, I think, trying socialism as well. Like, it's like, can we put away the death cult ideologies of 19th and 20th century Germany? Can we do away with all of them, please? All the versions of socialism. I know socialistic ideas go back kind of throughout human history because people would like a utopic society of free stuff and no responsibility and a government that is king that takes care of them. In the Bible, God tells the Israelites want a king like everybody else, and so God tells them how much having a king will oppress them. And then after being told that, they're still like, yeah, but we still want a king. Like, that's what human beings do. We do this. We go, bah, 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 give me a king. That's what people do. I like one of these other podcasters. I watch Gothics, Vanessa on her channel Gothics, and she pointed out that your king is either going to be King Jesus or some human king in the world that's going to have authority over you. It really comes down to that. As a Christian, I believe that. I think she nailed that. I'd rather us have smaller government in the world. Don't give them the keys to reign and oppress over us. Like, let's keep as much of that truly in the power of the quote unquote people, which we do in free society like America, these aspirational constitutional republic America with a strong Bill of Rights and free economics. Like the ideals of America does give power to the people. The ideals of all manners of socialism, all its hoity-toity talk of freeing people from chains, is just putting people under chains. Hey, I went from transgenderism to back into socialism and Marxism. Oh, this is the gender ideology, queer theory. Like, queer theory is like from what I've read, like, it's basically like tearing down all the things. It's all connected. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what you think. Leave a comment below, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.